Hey everyone, it's me, your friendly neighborhood host, that guy Frankie.
That's right.
Yours truly coming back at you with a new video. And while I said that my last Spider-Man video was going to be my last one covering the arachnid himself, I decided to watch No Way Home twice, and that's because, in a sense, it broke me.
What did you say? I love you.
What's Daddy gonna do? Sue me?
I think not, because let me tell you, Spider-Man No Way Home literally did break me, and not in the sense that it was a terrible movie, because it is far from terrible. It is not far from home. It is, in the sense, nearly as good as some of the best Spider-Man movies, such as Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man, even Into the Spider-Verse, because Spider-Man No Way Home, in many ways, not just fixed the MCU Spider-Man for me, but made him likable and relatable and understood what the character is and what he's supposed to be. This is going to be a video essay / review sort of, and honestly, I'm so happy to be wearing this suit again. It feels so good to wear this at least for one more video, because it's been quite some time since I've put this on and, cosplayed for you guys. But yeah, I look kind of goofy. You can see my eye over here. Can't even see because I'm blind without my glasses, but look at it. Yeah. Oh, and guess what, folks? I'm recording on the new mic itself. The Blue Yeti is actually here. I can't see what's going on, folks, so I apologize. But yeah, look at this. It's awesome. Yeah, I've been messing around with it ever since. And here's the box, and there you go. And now, let's get straight into the video. Now look, I have to address the elephant in the room. I haven't made any videos in quite a while, and I do have to apologize. I've been slacking. I am working on a lot of projects for you guys. I still have that iceberg up and running. I have to get to my parts. I had an amazing time in Phoenix celebrating my friend's birthday at an Airbnb. I had an amazing time hanging out with one of my favorite editors out there, that being Charles Zavala, who you guys should definitely give a follow to on Instagram, as well as having to deal with Karens at my work at GameStop, because power to the players. And I'm not talking shit to GameStop. I love GameStop. I love working there, but goddamn those Karens. It's having to deal with all those Karens and having to fight for my life, because every time I fall off my goddamn bed, it feels like I'm gonna die, because again, I am 5'4", I am not 5'7". It feels like I am on a cloud, and then poof. But this is very, very off topic. But yeah, let's get right back to the video. Spider-Man No Way Home, in many ways, managed to not just blow away my expectations, but this managed to be one of the MCU's best films ever since the likes of Infinity War, for many, many right reasons. This is the film that brought all the fans together, and finally, the Raimi and the Tasm fans have united. It is peaceful. It is heaven on earth, for now at least. But No Way Home is such a good fucking film. The story this time around is better. It's such an exquisite story this time around. Spider-Man No Way Home tells a far better story, and it's heavily improved upon since the likes of Far From Home, because let's be honest, I know many people out there love Far From Home, but it is not a good Spider-Man sequel. In many ways, Way Home and Homecoming have to be the 2 out of the 3 films in the trilogy thus far being the main good ones. No Way Home knocked it out of the ballpark. Every character involved, whether it was Aunt May, Happy, or even some of Pete's friends, felt more important and crucial to the plot. They were given more scenes, and you feel for every character, especially since some of them actually get hurt and there are consequences for everyone. This time around. Aunt May felt a lot more like Aunt May for once, and I really, really wish they could have done more with her in the past films, like I've stated in my most recent videos. Marissa Tomei is a great actress, and the MCU and Sony, or whoever wrote her in these movies, made her feel like she was not as important, that she was just there to be eye candy, but god damn, they did her right. They didn't do her dirty in No Way Home, because she feels like the lovable mother, the one family member left in Peter's life that does care for him and does worry about him. Man, she knocked it out of the ballpark with such great acting this time around, because god damn, Marissa Tomei is not eye candy this time around. She is a supportive, and she is the supportive single mother towards Peter Parker. The scenes they have together on screen, all the time they share, they both have this genuine relationship towards one another, as May is Peter Parker's moral compass throughout the entire movie. She helps shape him into the character that we've always wanted to, and it really works, and it's such a work of beauty seeing it on screen. There were a lot more stakes and consequences this time around, especially since his identity went public and caused mass hysteria of the people versus Spider-Man. This wasn't the coming-of-age Spider-Man that we started out with, rather a love letter to superhero films like the Raimi movies and Webs as well, since they showed more heart and much better writing. No Way Home, in many ways, felt like a dark superhero film, especially for the MCU, and it was more than just a breath of fresh air. It was an action-packed superhero thriller with amazing, over-the-top action, to grounded scenes, to great comedy, and depressing moments since the likes of The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. In this third film of the MCU franchise, Peter Parker is trying to make everyone forget he was ever Spider-Man in the trailers that we all saw, and we witnessed exactly how the spell is broken. With the spell being broken since Peter Parker accidentally tampered with it, this causes every villain from every respective franchise involved with Spider-Man make it into the film, whether it was Thomas Hayden Church as Sandman to the likes of the Lizard. They kept the villains exactly like we knew them and grew up with, and didn't turn them into jokes. Some of them were even written upon heavily to improve them. Characters that I will mention later in this video. It felt as if Mark Webb and Sam Raimi were in the building, coordinating everything, as they were absolutely amazing. Seeing them on the big screen, making me feel like a little kid watching this movie, not in theaters because I was a poor kid. I had to watch this shit pirated like almost every other poor degenerate out there. Yes, I watched pirated movies when I was younger, and now I don't. I actually go to the theaters to enjoy this, and let me just say, No Way Home, the first time around, god damn, it felt like going to a concert. I felt like I was on cloud 9. Doc Ock wasn't ruined or turned into a variant as I and many felt was going to happen. Max, that being Electro for those that don't remember, got a huge upgrade in this movie and came off more menacing than he ever was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. But if there's anyone who stole the whole show and was written better than ever, that award goes to the man that looks like he's always in his 40s, the beautiful, beautiful villain himself, Willem Dafoe, as the Green Goblin.
Wrong answer!
Oh, great.
Now, before you bash on me for saying, oh, how can you think that the Green Goblin this time around is cooler than the one in the Sam Raimi version? Hear me out, okay? Hear me out. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Just listen to the midget wearing a Spider-Man costume.
Listen to me now.
I love Sam Raimi's Green Goblin. I love the goofiness, the charm, and the horror he brought on screen in the first film and in all the films involved with him, and it's still presented here thanks to Eric Summers and Watts actually caring about these characters and not letting Sony or Marvel try to make them into the jokes that we all thought would happen. Because you see, everyone that I mentioned, Eric Summers, Watts, the rest of the writers, everyone on board, including Willem Dafoe, brought a more darker side to Norman Osborn, and it brought the true Green Goblin, if you will. Peter Parker is trying to save these villains since they all die fighting Spider-Man, and he feels responsible for it. This movie in no way involves the Avengers or Tony Stark aside from Stark Tech. And you know what that means? You know what that means? Iron Boy Jr. is no more. Finally! No more Tony goddamn Stark. No more memes of Iron Boy Jr. It is completely gone. I can die happy knowing that all that is just a dream at this point. In every way, shape, or form, manages to be a standalone Spider-Man film for the first time in the MCU, aside from Doctor Strange being involved. And when I mentioned that the Green Goblin feels more unhinged and the true Goblin that we all wanted, the Green Goblin this time around isn't a joke. Well, yeah, he has some jokes here and there. He's horrifying to witness, and the fights are nearly as brutal, if not just a little bit more horrifying to watch. Since his fight against Tobey Maguire in the Raimi movies, it's more dark, it's brutal, and it's to the point, and it's just so eerie and disturbing to watch, especially for a Spider-Man film in light of the Disney era. And while I can say that I wasn't really too much of a Tom Holland stan, a believer, a fan at all, this time around, Tom Holland to me feels like the definitive Spider-Man for the new generation, and I'm all for him and for it more than ever. He did everything he could to make this character, make his character improve from his last two installments, and made him feel much more special and much more like the character that many of us have been wanting to see in the MCU. In a battle against Strange, time, and even questioning your morality and responsibility, Spider-Man No Way Home is going to have you on the edge of your seat wanting more and more. And it feels like you just don't get enough because this movie is that damn good. Nothing about this movie felt wrong, at least for me. There were some moments in the film that bugged me, but not to the point where I hated the film. Now, there were moments in the film that bugged me, like I said, and those were just some small CGI scenes that were very noticeable in some areas, such as backdrops here and there, weird rendering with the suits, but again, this movie was still perfect. It managed to blow away my expectations, and I'm just happy that I got to watch it opening night with my friends and family. Never have I cried or felt happy and depressed in theaters compared to No Way Home. Call me a pussy, call me a fanboy, call me whatever it is you want to call me. I don't care. No Way Home is nothing short of amazing nor spectacular. It's simply just breathtaking. Whatever theories that you had and all the leaks that we saw, all I can tell you right now is
it helps maintain the illusion.
And it worked. And that means we were right. But for right now, since we have entered spoiler territory, so if you haven't again, like I said, for those of you that don't want anything about the movie spoiled, I suggest you click off of the video now. Either watch that movie, or just click off right now and skip to the designated time that I will be putting right here, especially down there in the comments section below. So if you haven't already, get out. If not,
I missed the part where that's my problem.
There will never be another film quite like No Way Home. No Way Home sees the return of two legends, two veterans. We not only got to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, but they were done right and weren't just a nostalgia act. All three Spider-Men share the screen together, not just to fight the Sinister Five instead of the Six, rather to try and save them and cure some asses and make them human again. The way that they're brought back is kinda MCU schlock comedy. It's pretty funny, don't get me wrong, but it still manages to captivate your attention, especially after realizing that Andrew Garfield still looks like he did in 2012 and hasn't aged a goddamn day. My god, man, you have aged like fine wine. You're making me question my sexuality, and that is something not up for discussion right now. Going off topic. The way that these Spider Warriors are brought into the film have a purpose and aren't just for nostalgia or fan service, like I said. Ever since Strange's spell was messed up and villains made their way from multiple universes into this movie, into this world, this also brought in our childhood heroes, our Spider-Man, or men for plural. They talk about how they became Spider-Man in their respective universes, and it doesn't drag or turn it into a meme like most MCU films, especially like Far From Home. Grief plays a huge part in this film, and they all go through it together. Both Andrew and Tobey make the final act of the movie feel really special and a joy to watch. The final fight scene had to be one of the best moments of the film for having not just a shocking swerve, but the interactions that we get to witness between every character on board made it feel just amazing. I won't say exactly how it ends since that is crucial, and I'd rather you guys actually see what happens and avoid as many leaks if you haven't seen the movie yet, but No Way Home in many ways saved the MCU Spider-Man. It fixed him, it redeemed him. This is the Spider-Man I wanted. Ever since Civil War and ever since Homecoming, we finally got a perfect ending to a rocky trilogy, the perfect ending to a broken trilogy, and I honestly wouldn't have had it any other way. Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man, No Way Home, Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse are in my top 5. The reason that I rank this film so high is that it did everything right, not just in my eyes, but it won the hearts of both Raimi and Webb fans for the first time ever since seeing the character in Civil War and Infinity War. Tom Holland as Peter Parker feels and flows so much better than before, and the journey will only continue to be spectacular as the ending of the movie marks it as the last of the high school trilogy, as well as the dawn of adult Peter Parker on his own. No more Avengers, no more Tony Stark or other heroes coming in to take him under their wing. Will I want more crossover events for him? Of course, but for now, only time will tell what's going to happen. No Way Home is one of the best Spider-Man movies, and you need to web swing your way into theaters and give it a chance. Overall, this movie gets a 9.5 out of 10 from me. The cinematography and the background felt more grounded, and I honestly couldn't tell if it was a real set location for most of it, since, most of the time, set backdrops are mostly CGI, especially for the MCU most of the time now. Well, a lot of the time, I have to be perfectly honest, but it was hard for me to tell what was a CGI backdrop and what was an actual on-set location, and that's really good. It just goes to show that they weren't trying to be lazy this time around, and they put more heart and effort into the making of this movie. No Way Home's budget was a big step up and the best improvement there was for this trilogy. The action was eerie, brutal, and bleak to that of Raimi's Spider-Man 1 and Mark Webb's TASM 2. At times you feel for the hero and the villain, and you don't know whether to hate, cheer, or boo the villain since they're portrayed oh so well. This movie was worth staying up till 3 in the goddamn morning, nearly having to beat an old lady with a stick just trying to get my tickets for me and my sister, and I'll probably never do that again until the inevitable Spider-Man 4 manages to come out, whether that being Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4 or Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4. Also, stick around for the final scene and the end credits. They're definitely setting up something, you know, lethal coming into play for both the MCU and Peter Parker. Stick around for the end credits. They're really, really good. And again, before I forget, stay tuned for the iceberg coming out. It is going to be sometime before I even get it out. I'm working with some very great, filthy friends of mine, including the likes of Mr. Multiverse. The one and only Aviator Man, the man that makes all of my goddamn thumbnails, aside from Charles Zavala, helps me edit all the time when he can, as well as the one and only Jerry the Afro Man.
From the moment I could talk.
This iceberg is going to be pretty lengthy. It will feature some offensive stuff, but that's another video for another time. This has been your friendly neighborhood host, that guy Frankie. Yours truly, and I apologize if this video looks weird in post-production, post-editing at this point. This is my first time showing my face towards you guys recording. I know that I'm already used to streaming my face here and there, but it just feels kind of awkward having to talk like this through the mic, but yeah. Thank you guys again for watching the video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, do the whole thing, you know, the whole shebang. It's been your friendly neighborhood host, that guy Frankie. Yours truly, and with great power
comes great big booty bitches.
take care, you guys. See you in the next one.